pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any changes, corrections you're aware of, Shelley? Cassandra had none either. All in favor of the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries unanimously. Public comment. Public comment is again asked for anything on the agenda. If you have comments, I'm assuming most of you are here for the 10 o'clock item. Bob, do you have your clock? 2 minutes each person that wishes to speak. So please state your name when you come up, and then Shelley can get that done.
Bob, I'd like to have an extra minute and probably 15 minutes or 15 seconds. Is that possible?
We'll just keep on talking.
All right.
I can't make that decision. I don't make that decision.
Do we? Is that okay?
2 minutes.
I can't get this done in 2 minutes.
I can't make exceptions. 2 minutes.
Well, the Constitution gives you free speech.
2 minutes. You're wasting your 2 minutes, Mike.
I'm Mike Lacoste, a concerned taxpayer of Bremer County. I recently attended the December 2nd Bremer County Supervisors meeting. I also attended the November 20th, 25 meeting of the Bremer County Emergency Management Commission, hoping to learn more about the $200,000 payout that they and the other Bremer County government have been concealing from the people of Bremer County. One of the first items on the agenda was to approve the minutes prior to the meeting, which occurred July 3rd, 2025, at which the Commission approved the $200,000 settlement. However, the Commission instead moved to approve the minutes on the April meeting, completely ignoring pretending the July 3rd meeting never occurred. I have a copy of the draft minutes from 7/3/25 and were obtained from the FOIA request to the auditor in September. They existed well before the November 20th meeting. I believe they was purposely concealed. You see, if they acknowledge of the July 3rd meeting, then the public might become aware of the payout they're trying to keep secret. This was a blatant attempt to avoid transparency and accountability for the $200,000 that cost the taxpayers. I also want to point out yet another attempt to conceal the misconduct of the Commission and the $200,000 payout that resulted. On page 4 of the settlement agreement, item 17 states, the settlement agreement and release is subject to the approval of the Board of Supervisors of Bremer County. However, there is no record of the supervisor ever publicly discussing or nor approving the agreement. I asked Supervisor Zirinsky about that after reading the statement agreement. He told me, and he had some of the same question and reached out to the county attorney, Darius Robbins, for clarification. According to Zirinsky, the attorney stated it was a Scrivener's error and should have read Emergency Management Commission rather than the Board of Supervisors. I'm skeptical this is actually the case. A simple error and oversight in planning wording of the well-prepared $200,000 settlement. I again believe it shows blatant attempts of the Commission along with the county attorney to prevent public awareness and transparency of the $200,000 payout that the taxpayers are paying for. It also means the agreement potentially was not properly approved as written and therefore void. If the $200,000 was paid out and terms of the agreement were never completed, therefore the claimant would be bound by the terms of the agreement despite being paid $200,000 and could still sue the county and put the taxpayers on hook for even more money. So the question arises, I still haven't got the question, if the person is qualified for this job, why are we paying $200,000 of the taxpayers of Bremer County? That's what I want to have answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Point of information, Mr. Chair. My office and I we didn't draft that agreement. That was done by outside counsel retained by the Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Next.
Aaron to sign in? He has not.
I'll do it when I'm ready.
Please state your name and then
Is this on?
it is.
Oh, is that what records through the thing?
Yeah.
So like, because I've got, 2 minutes, that is hard, because I've got 3 states that I'm bringing today, so that gives me 40 seconds per state. Can I get some sort of 40, 80-second
2 minutes,
additional?
please start.
All right. I'll have to bring this out. Brought the hardcover today. It's actually
Please say
bulletproof.
your name.
Matthew Schneider, Waverly. It's actually bulletproof. I believe this is happening. Good grief. U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 9. No suspension of habeas corpus. No silencing voices. Bulletproof. Louisiana's been silenced. Visit SaveMyLouisiana.com. Waverly's been silenced. Visit KeepWaverlyMoving.com. Ohio's been silenced. I got 40 seconds of that. Maybe. And I don't because there's no audio, because it's blocked, because of silence. Because of silence. Think of that, guys. Because I've been silenced. Can't even get her audio. 40 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'll find the audio on my phone and I'll give it to somebody to play. Because this is absolutely ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So if you're part of this silence operation in any means, resign now. It'll make it a lot easier. Quit. Boards, commissions, all of it. It's pretty serious stuff that we're looking at. Resign today. Not tomorrow. Not wait until Christmas. We've got kids that are sick in Louisiana because of silence. They had to have somebody come in
Okay, 2 minutes.
from the
Thank you,
out. They had to
Bob.
have somebody come in from the outside
Matthew.
to help them. That's how ridiculous this is.
Thank you.
And they're getting help. The federal whistleblowers are on it. Okay?
Thank you, Matthew. Right, Kathy.
Mike, I forgot to give you these the last time. Take one or pass, each of you get one. There's 3 different scenarios there. But
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
Kathy Folkerts from Dakota Avenue. I just handed out the revenue from the proposed subdivision if all 8 lots are sold and all 8 houses are constructed, and I got that through Aaron and Shelley. I just forgot to give that to you last time. We've done a lot of research, and I'll talk fast as I can. Who remembers the pond in front of Cuna when it was filled up with water? And then the next day the water was gone? That was a sinkhole. And it took truckloads after truckloads of concrete to fill up that pond so that it now holds water. That's what happens with sinkholes. Corey said that the farmer told him there was just a little dent in the ground. Well, after you do storm sewers and wells and septic systems and leach fields, that might be a little different. So I'm just worried about that. And the geologist and I was in Des Moines told me, and I was on the phone with him for an hour, that the leach fields and the chemicals that go down through the filtered rock, the water will become very easily contaminated, quote, unquote. And who remembers the Murphy addition? When we did the Murphy addition along Cedar Lane, and they did individual septics, and they probably had shared wells, all of a sudden people were getting sick, they were having cancer, there was lots of illness, the lots stopped selling, the houses stopped selling, they were promised city water and sewer, they weren't getting it. 25 years later, I happened to be on the city council that time, we bit the bullet, brought them water, sewer, and city services. Lots started selling, houses started selling. In fact, the whole subdivision grew outside of Murphy Addition. So it just tells me that there's a problem when you've got leach fields and chemicals going down through filtered rock and contaminating water. That's one of my biggest concerns. And, we've given you a lot of legitimate reasons why this should be turned down. It just seems like a kind of a classic example of ignoring the adverse effects to the many for the benefit of the few. I would really like to ask you to look at the big picture It's not just about privacy rights and
2 minutes.
property rights. It's about a whole lot of things. So I urge you to think about the big picture.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
I'm Chris Holthouse. I was also at the November 20th, 2025 meeting of the Bremer County Emergency Management Commission. One item on the agenda that evening was to discuss and approve a letter of qualification the County Attorney Darius Robinson had prepared for the commission, called a Letter of Educational and Experiential Qualification. And it was done in an attempt to fabricate qualifications for Aaron Goodenbauer for his position as Emergency Management Coordinator. The letter contained multiple false and misleading claims, including that Goodenbauer had been an emergency management technician, despite the fact that that title doesn't even exist. The commission went ahead and voted 9-0 to knowingly, willfully, and intentionally approve a fraudulent letter of qualification that County Attorney Darius Robinson had knowingly, willfully, and intentionally created. The Board of Supervisors delegated a task to the EM Commission. The Commission conducted a flawed and rigged hiring process which resulted in a $200,000 payout of taxpayer dollars. In addition, the taxpayers have paid $150,000 in wages and benefits to an unqualified individual over the past year and a half and continue to do so. So far, we're on the hook for $350,000. Rather than correct this costly error, the Commission, the County Attorney, and others have instead sought to conceal, cover up, and fabricate documents. By their inaction, the Board of Supervisors has knowingly and willfully allowed this to continue and to expose the taxpayers of Bremer County and the state of Iowa to future financial and legal liability. It should be noted there were 28 applicants for this position, and the majority of them likely possess the legally required qualifications, meaning the county could potentially face 26 more lawsuits or settlements if those qualified individuals were to also pursue legal action. It's time for government servants to come clean with the taxpayers, demonstrate transparency, right this wrong, and hold those responsible accountable, both personally and financially. And not least of all, perform your required duties and obligations to mitigate the future financial and legal liability for the taxpayers of Bremer County. Although you've been able to claim ignorance and plausible deniability of this situation and the subsequent shenanigans of those involved, you've been provided public notice and cannot claim ignorance as a defense.
Thank you, Chris. Please state your name.
Mick Weiss, 190th Street. I'd just like to talk a little bit about, the initial conversation from A1 to A2. And I think we deviated from that a little bit from where we're at now. A lot of good information has came to the board, and I think you've all had time to review it, and I hope you have. I hope you haven't just shuffled it under your desk and said it was not worthwhile to read, but I think there are a lot of good points that came out of it. But I guess, this ground has been productive for years and years and years, and I don't understand the point of why we would want to defer from that. I mean, Wendy Brazzi made a very good comment last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, of the protection of agricultural ground because of our future generations that are going to help support food and product for ethanol or biodiesel, whatever it might be. But, we continuously take away from agriculture, and pretty soon we're going to be in that point, whether you want to face it or not. I mean, I know, Corey, you commented once it was sacred. Agriculture was. The Board of Supervisors from previous administrations, the Supreme Courts have said, agriculture is sacred ground. I mean, I don't know why we'd want to deviate from that. The property rights ownership, owners should have property rights, but the ground was A1, it was sold as A1, it was bought at A1. I mean, what part of that don't we understand, that we wouldn't want to keep it at that. It has had no problem with renters. I mean, renters have been renting this for years and years. Merck converted it, made it a very profitable farm. I guess I just don't understand the rationale why we'd want to deviate from that. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Lonnie wants to talk. She has 40 seconds here if anyone wants to play it, because I sure can't, because time's up, I guess. Anyone want to play her? She's begging to be played. Anyone? She doesn't have a voice, I guess. So bad, too sad.
Oh, talk. If nobody else wants to.
Please.
I think we're talking about that land on C-33.
Correct. Well, you can,
Just
it's your
north.
2 minutes, you choose to speak.
I want-
Please state your name.
If
though.
that's what we're talking about, that's why I want to talk.
Please state your name and then
Okay.
continue.
I'm Joyce Harms. I was on P&Z when those houses along C-33 were platted and allowed to be built. And part of our approval of that subdivision was a request, or a demand, you might say, that they leave space for a street to lead to the property north of them, which was done. The reason for that was the Anhalts owned the property at the time, and their plan was to sell that row of that land for a row of houses, and when those were completed at some point in the future, they would want to sell another additional land so that another row of houses could be built, because in their opinion, that was not prime farmland. As P&Z at that time, we completely redid the map of Bremer County and looked at places where houses could be built on land that was not as productive as other places, because we knew our population was growing and we knew that there was going to be more and more people that wanted to live in the country. So what we looked at was land that was not quite as good as other land where houses could be built and people could live in the country where they wanted to live. Mrs. Anhalt called me when the land was purchased, I think, by J.D. Francis, and he was denied the ability to develop it. And she said, "What can we do? I thought you had made this land that could be sold for housing." I told her I didn't have anything to do with it because I wasn't on P&Z anymore. If I could help in any way, they should contact me.
Thank you.
I just wanted to give my opinion.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm Bruce Gipple. I live in 1880 Elk Avenue. My little farm borders the land that we are talking about. And I just recently, I went out back, what we call out back. There's 40 acres that my family has turned into a conservation area. And we have to have conservation for soil, air, water, and animals. I mean, we just recently went out back and we seen 9 deer, heard the pheasants crowing, and there's evidence that turkey has been back there. And I've got 2 shelter belts, pine trees, and one set of pine trees borders this ground. And we just have to keep conservation, and we'll never get it back. If we build houses, we'll never get that back. And these people, these animals got to have a place to live, period. And I sure hope that that you people, you supervisors, will direct that and go in that direction. I really hope you do. And we have to have conservation. We planted milkweed for the butterflies, and they're beautiful. And if we build a bunch of houses and stuff, this is going to disappear, and we can't have that. So I really hope you people think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Sure. Has the board received a letter from the Redford firm? Has that been provided to them? Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Steve, would you state your full name?
Sure. Stephen M. Egley.
Thank you.
And what I was referring to is the fact that some of the people involved here that are objecting to this change in venue or rezoning have obtained a legal opinion from the Redford firm, which I think the board is well familiar with. They've done many things with this county over the years, and they've asked them, is this procedure that we've just followed a correct procedure? And they've concluded, no, it's not. We've only had one hearing. That was the first one, where people were allowed to ask you questions, as well as make their own statements. And the other two, this one and the second one, were just simply they weren't even associated with the item on the agenda. Just a 2-minute opportunity for people to speak. What I'm getting at is I think that there is a very substantial question whether the proceedings you just followed are legal, in that whether hearings were provided as opposed to just an opportunity to make a statement to the board. And the reason I bring this up is I think one of the things that's really been clear in this is that there may be a consensus on the board about the fact that this is worthwhile to change this under the current 10-year plan, which prioritizes expressly farm ground retention. But it's clear from the discussion and the information that's been brought forward in the statements made by people that many of those most familiar with this land for a very long time, as well said just by this gentleman, this has been well rented, used real agricultural land. And that's the priority under your current 10-year plan. You're under review with that, and you're considering changing it. And I understood from comments made by the board at the very first meeting that one of the things you feel pressured for is to better utilize, raise the amount of tax revenue from land in the county.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks.
I'm Marv Folkers. I live west of the property that's being developed. We've got a handful of people, which in reality is the majority of the people, that put out many good points why not to do this. Water runoff, water seepage, too many septic tanks, traffic, sinkholes, and not a word thus far has been heard by this board. Nothing's changed. Mr. Hildebrand, you said at the very beginning, the only this subject failed twice before. The only difference today is different board and different owner. Different owner makes no difference. Different board is making a huge difference. They're not listening to us. 2 minutes to talk. That's ridiculous. We got a big issue here. It takes more than 2 minutes to explain what's going on. Yet, why listen for 10 minutes? Because you're not listening to us in the begin with. So just give us 2 minutes. And that's what this board is doing. And what goes on inside these walls goes outside the walls tomorrow. And tomorrow, I can talk all day long. And I'll explain why it passed this time and why it did pass before. I'll have all day to talk about it. And people are going to ask. This has been up before. It's in the public. People are going to ask what's going on. And there is something going on. Don't tell me and don't tell us there ain't something that's going on. There's card playing underneath the table. We can see that. We're not ignorant. Now, you want to support an issue like that, that's fine. If you want to support the public, the majority, that's fine. If you want to support a chosen few, I guess that's fine. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Thank you.
We each got a different, I think there was actually, my numbers are all the same, I think maybe yours are different.
If you don't
Yeah,
mind,
different scenarios.
I'll stand. As you see, I have difficulty getting up off a chair. I don't need that. I am in agreement with all that has been presented opposing this rezoning effort again. I ask each of you to vote no to this resolution today. My hope is that the members of this board have taken the time to look at the State of Iowa Geological Survey activities for Northeast Iowa. They actually came out and drilled in my property. Michael Algray, I guess I didn't introduce myself. I live on 180th Street, lived there for a long time. I hope that you have looked at this Iowa Geological Survey activities for Northeast Iowa so that you have seen from the Iowa state level the concerns that have been expressed by all concerned in opposing this resolution. I am asking each of you personally to vote no for this today. This resolution, reaching down, as you vote no, reach down into your heart God's love as you vote. And noting, this morning in my Vespers, they addressed the healing of the nations. That healing starts with you and with me in the Spirit of Jesus. And in conclusion, I suggest that you go after this meeting and read Psalm 146 after you vote no. Thank you for your attention.
Anyone else?
Mark Hallback. I live out on 190th Street. Good morning, Supervisors. Bob, I know you do a great job timing, so I will respect your time. I only have a minute. Today, my emphasis is on vision. Vision for Bremer County and vision for Waverly. What will Waverly look like in 10 years? Will our society keep experiencing gradual setbacks and decline, or are we headed towards growth and success? Even with all the pettiness I've witnessed over the last meetings, I do sometimes sit back, close my eyes, and I ask this question. Is this decision bigger than any one of us in this room? Thank you for considering freedom of property ownership and considering vision when you make your decision for the greater good of Bremer County and Waverly. And please, please do not forget this parcel was once part of the future comprehensive land use plan for the county and was abruptly and wrongly removed. The research has already been done. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
My name is Mary Biney. We are current residents in the first Mark Hallbuck subdivision. Kathy brought up something about the water, making sure we had safe water to drink. In our current subdivision that we live in, we do not have safe water. And you want to let Mark and Wendy and whoever else have another subdivision to have water that's not safe for other people to drink. Go for it.
Wendy Brazzi, 1271 130th, Planning and Zoning Board that I'm on for you guys. Just stating again, you know, since I've been on the board, you guys haven't approved or agreed with anything that we have brought before you. You know, everybody talks about property rights, and yeah, to a point, there's property rights. But that's also why there's Planning and Zoning Board. That's why it's a group of people that, you know, decides what is right for their property and their neighbors. Because, you know, if I wanted to, I could buy a property next to this housing addition and put up a hog building. Nobody's stopping me. And, you know, that's my property right. That's why we have planning and zoning, so stuff like this doesn't happen. We're bringing people from town into an agricultural setting that have no idea what happens out in the rural areas. And you're just looking for a lot more problems that way. And that's really all I got to say. So I hope you guys make the right decision.
Morning. My name is Hannah Hallback, and I also live out on 190th Street. So I'm a communications major at the University of Northern Iowa. So I've gained some interest in this process over time. This motivated me to come up here today, even though my parents have tried to insulate me from these meetings. But I've been watching some of these YouTube videos over these past meetings, and some of the people that I've watched here unfortunately remind me of the behavior that I've witnessed in the halls of my high school. As someone who's a part of the younger generation, I'm also trying to understand property rights, so I'm just a little bit confused as to why non-owners of the property are able to tell owners what they can and can't do with their own property. One question I continue to ask my parents is, why can we all live out here but others can't? But they can never really seem to give me an answer. In my opinion, I think it's time to raise the bar for Bremer County. Thank you.
Anyone else? We did receive a communication electronically from Lyle Rasmussen, Jessica Jewell, and again from Ryan Weiss. And Shelley has copies of those, so if anyone wishes to see them beyond us or have a copy of them, please reach out to Shelley and she'll get those to you. Any other public comment, both for this or anything else related to today's meeting? Any public comment not related to today's meeting? Okay, hearing none, we're going to continue on with our meeting. We will take up Lindsay at 10 o'clock promptly. The first one will be the Hallbach, and the second one will be, I guess that's it.
No, Felsky. There's a minor plat for Felsky.
Oh yeah, Felsky, yeah, sorry. So you can hang out here if you wish. You can visit in the hall, whatever you wish to do, but we will continue on with our meeting. Minutes were presented to us. They were sent out electronic for us to review, and they're here for a hard copy today. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes?
Move approval. Second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey to approve the minutes as presented. Any additions or corrections that anyone wishes to make? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Claims were also sent out electronically for us to review.
Move approval of the claims.
Thank you, Bob. Is there a second?
No second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey to approve the claims as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. We do have three. Looks like they're all with the sheriff. Chad McGee, Christopher Hazlitt, and Anali Kuntz. All two-step scale and one orientation complete.
Move approval of the personal additions.
All three, Bob?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey to approve the three personnel changes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Tim, want to change locations here? or- Tim and Corey have been working with the DNR for some improvements out at the landfill, specifically utilizing grant funds. So Tim, you want to explain it and talk this through?
We've applied for a grant for another building for a swap building. It's for new chemicals that actually get put on a shelf that we deem.
Tim, I'm going to interrupt you and hope you hold on, please.
Okay.
I think Sandra should be out here because this is budgetary and she'll want to.
Okay.
Sorry to bring you.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
So we've written the grant and everything, back and forth, communication and everything. The grant has been approved. We're just looking for the signing from the board today. It's no cost to the taxpayer. It's DNR funds. It's just an additional portable building to give us more room to operate and do things a lot more efficiently. So.
And this new building will be closer to your main shop or your
Yep.
weigh-in station.
It'll be right at the scale house.
Yep, at the scale house.
Yes.
And so, tell us, what are you gonna do with it? What's gonna go in there?
Okay, it's swap chemicals, paints, anything that comes in. Some of it's new. If we deem that it's okay, we'll put it on a shelf. The public can have 6 items per trip. You know, so it could be bleach, paint, you name it, wasp spray, whatever.
So there'll be the site where they come in, they'll weigh it, potentially weigh it, and then you'll accept it right there. Is that?
It will be weighed and stuff, yes. So we can keep track of that. We've never had a scale to be able to do that. It's
Okay.
been a bathroom scale, and that's not.
That's part of this grant is a
Yeah.
large digital platform scale.
It's a pallet scale is what we're after with the building and.
So then
stuff,
do you foresee that maybe, right now it's appointment only, that maybe we can get away from appointments? And just,
I don't think we can get away from appointments.
Okay.
Because if we only have one person there, we can't run back and forth for the sorting part of it, so.
Okay.
So you said it's 100% grant covered, or is there a
Yes.
local match?
No.
Under 10,000, there's no local
Okay.
match, and we're coming down to just about.
We were allowed up to $10,000, no match. Over 10,000, there would have been a
Yeah,
50-50
we must have been
match.
talking over 10 when we were originally talking about, because I think we were talking about it.
The first building that we
first
did
one we went over
last
just
year
over
was
10,600.
over 10,000. We put a mini split unit in it, so we have heat and air conditioning, so we can work in the wintertime in there. Sorting.
And what would be the completion date of this building if this grant is approved? Is there a time limit on when it's got to be done? We're not in ideal building condition.
Well,
right?
it's a portable building, so we just need a load of rock, level that out, have the building drop there.
So will DNR furnish the building, or do we have to go out and look for and acquire the building?
We'll go look for it. They've already got the bids for the building and the scale.
Okay. I don't see why we wouldn't approve this. It seems like a win-win for Bremer County citizens for having another facility available, or a more convenient facility available for them.
Yep.
I just noticed one mistake last night. I need to get Kathleen, that she still has me listed as the chair. Not that, we're not signing it. Tim will be the signatory on this, but the cover sheet before we file this, I'll have her replace that with your name, just so it's correct before Tim signs it to submit it.
So just the approval, and we'll go after it.
Great. Good job. So we'll approve the processes out there for hazardous waste, so I think it's good stuff.
You know, it keeps the swap building is actually meant to keep the chemicals out of the landfill, and if somebody wants it, it's good, then we don't have to sort it and pay for it to go out. You know, so, and it costs us quite a bit. Even though we're in the DNR program that we get reimbursed back for most of that, every little bit helps.
Yep. I know from consumers, they can go out and pick up some stuff, they need a little extra paint, and they can go out there and save some money too, so it's good win-win. Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions?
Very beneficial having the information ahead of time. Having it sent out ahead of time, Cassandra, is helpful, because then we can have it read and reviewed before we come into a meeting. I really like that, so thank you both for that. Is there a motion?
Approve the application for Customer Convenience Center Product Swap Building DNR grant.
Second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey, to approve the agreement between the Bremer County Regional Collection Center and Iowa Department of Natural Resources. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimously. Tim, you're authorized to sign that, and so you will submit.
Okay.
I'll get you the right cover sheet, and this afternoon we'll get it signed.
Sounds good. The next thing before us, Tim, you might as well stay there in case there's questions.
Okay.
Regional Collection Center Grant Program update or report. Do you have anything additional? Written report, or do you?
This was just the grant last year for the sorting building, where we improved it, did the interior finish. The mini split that Tim was talking about earlier, and then impermeable surfaces on the walls for in case any spills happen, just to give us sorting. So this is just a final report, kind of wrapping that up. That it's been approved. Just want to accept it, placed on file, and then our retainage has been issued for that project as well. So we're going to be clearing the books on that soon.
Is it being utilized well?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did you end up with flooring for floor cover? What did you put on the floor?
It was a special kind of paint. It was $80 a gallon, and it took 2 gallons to get it down.
Much more than wall paint nowadays.
Yep. That way, if we spill, at least we can clean it up without it being absorbed in the floor.
Is there a motion to accept and place the report on file?
Motion to accept, move that we accept the final report for the Customer Convenience Center.
Second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey, to approve the final report and place it on file. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion carries. Would you put that on file, please? Here's the grant one also. So you have it.
Thank you, Tim.
Yep.
Board and committee update and advertising and such. Shelley and I and Myra, is Myra still here, have kind of had conversations about whether or not we're doing the right, following the right method, if you will. I don't believe there's anything in code that dictates to us how we're supposed to do it, but Myra asked the question if we should be advertising for each individual board or committee. I think I expressed the challenges to Myra about that that could be a very long advertisement and it could be challenging. Shelley and I had a brief conversation about it, and I guess have concluded that we need to have full board understanding and direction of how we're doing it, just for people's sake. How we typically do it is when a board opening, when someone's term expires, or in the case of eminent domain that expire each year, we call the individuals that are currently serving on the eminent domain and see if they wish to stay on. In some cases, they give you a year's heads up. They say that I'll be here this year, but I'm going to be relocating or moving in the wintertime and won't be available, so we have some knowledge that there would likely be some replacements. We've always put out a general ad saying that if you're interested in serving on any board or committee at the county level, please feel free to fill out an application and submit it to the auditor's office. So, gentlemen, the question is do we want to somehow formalize a better or more exhaustive advertising? It's not that it hasn't worked in the past, but are we?
I'm okay with, trying to re-up people, and then once they decide not to re-up, then we should advertise it. So.
Dewey, can I ask a question?
You can't.
I
Sorry.
can't ask a question. Oh,
No.
sorry.
I think the current process works. I think in today's, the ease of communication with email and able to reach out through links on the website, I don't think we need to up our paid advertising. I think there's plenty of access to achieve the information of specific open boards and commission spots.
Can you speak louder?
If somebody asks Shelley, the list is always updated on the boards and commissions to see what the dates are that are available, so I just don't see that in the property tax environment, especially that we're heading into with what the legislature is looking at, I just don't see a reason to expend more to bring public awareness when a little bit of effort provides the information that's available.
We want to remain
just as
with
we are.
our current system. And, Shelley, does that give you enough direction? I think that our position's been put out on that also with the press. So, board committee updates?
Nothing, but hearing today, could we have EMA come in, give us an update, or the attorney just give us an update of what's going on? Because I'm a little in the dark too, so.
As we all are.
So I request, can I request, Mr. Chair, that you work either EMA or Darius, or who do you think would come in?
I think I should speak to the county attorney about it and see litigation and settlements are sometimes such that certain things can't be divulged. So I'll meet with Darius between meetings today and we'll have a conversation.
Great, thank you.
Anything else, Bob?
Corey?
We kicked off our first meeting of fundraising committee for Northeast Iowa Community Action, trying to open up some avenues and expand on creating some various more local fundraising efforts to diversify our funds from going through the federal shutdown this last time being the longest shutdown, and recognizing local charitable contributions, how far they actually go in the process. We're wanting to expand on that and expand awareness of just how far community action programs reach into our local communities. So I'll be doing a couple meetings with some financial advisors locally, looking at allocations from qualified charitable disbursements out of individuals and just awareness of local programs that exist. So to expand that awareness, it's just a pilot program we're putting together there. I offered to offer some time and assistance in helping that and gathering some feedback on diversification of fund intake. And then Thursday we had our building edition meeting, another Zoom meeting, talking about still just kind of narrowing down a final price estimate, continuing to work through some changes in the plans. Footing is the footing thing. Remember we talked in June how some of the footings seemed to be larger than they needed to be, like they had grown in size. They found some issues with where some of that had come from in the design process, in CAD work, and just working through narrowing everything down to get a perfect set of plans before bid, and then to bring us back an engineer estimate of total price that they feel comfortable with. So getting close on that. We're not going to meet this week. We have too many people out of the office with other commitments, so I don't think we'll meet until between the holidays again. That's all I had.
Okay. Mine was mostly with Shelley, discussing how we move forward on various things. And one of the things that came up was budgetary relative to utility payments from all of our buildings around the county. We're going to ask that we consider a resolution this year to pay those utility payments without prior monthly approval. In other words, do it as an annual resolution, which is permissible by law, because of all of the late fees that the taxpayers get hooked for. It's mostly utilities because of timing, when they get sent out versus when they can even practically get paid. So we could avoid all of those. Not a huge amount of money, but saving $1 here or there is always a good thing. So that will be in the works. And with that, we have 10 minutes, so let's do this. Let's research. Kathy had a question that will allow Kathy and I to have, she can ask me my question or her question. You guys can mingle and visit with folks, and we'll reconvene at a couple minutes before 10 to get ready for our next two agenda items. Make sense?
So I think there was 3 different scenarios. They were paper clipped together, so I think yours is the 3rd scenario.
You get my message?
Take care of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane has to do with you. Yeah.
Total. For a Monday night, that's good.
I shouldn't change anything. Well, you just had that thing.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Being delayed.
And he said that he didn't.
Mr. Rogers, here's some blue slides.
Oh, yeah, I did say that. I didn't know that's why it was.
She said, yeah, with the pages.
There's one more semester left, and then it's going to train up
The one that has the most. Was it?
The person you're calling isn't accepting messages right now.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see it in time.
Or try calling.
Thank you for doing that. Mine upstairs or at home or?
What's that?
At home or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her husband took her vehicle, so now she doesn't like to drive the truck, so she.
Oh, okay, you were. Okay. No, I didn't even know that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, great, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh. Oh, I appreciate it.
Everybody.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Yeah.
It's like, if we don't want them, let's tear them up.
No, I was confused. I was like, what? Okay.
We slaved over it, Darius. We slaved over it.
It's okay. Just my brain is. I hear you. I just wanted to get notice.
Appreciate that.
I've got a few. There's still work to do.
As always. Love the red, by the way. Very nice. The stripes. Looks good. You losing weight? You working out?
I'm down 40 since March 1st.
No kidding. Man, that's great.
If I actually exercise.
Okay. Hey, they say 90% of it's like diet.
Yeah. Diet and stress.
Diet and stress? Is that more stress or less stress?
Sure, you figure it out.
All right. That's
Yeah, same school.
40 pounds. That's amazing. Yeah.
But if you put it into context, it's one of those 5-gallon jugs of water that you sell at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine carrying that around. That's what I take.
I can. Thank you. Several of them.
So I went to Fairway just before Thanksgiving. That's when I crossed the border.
Well, since I've been
And
on
John takes my picture home with 40 pounds of turkey.
Oh, no kidding.
So, yeah.
That's great. You must feel better. You feel great.
I was out in DC and I took pictures of them back in August. We're walking around and stuff. And I said, hey, I'm not winded.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
I can go up the flight of stairs here without doing it. I come all the way to your office.
Man, that's the challenge, right?
Catch my breath in your office. I never knew this. I stand outside your office for 3 minutes before I come in.
Here's
the first breath.
That's what happened.
One of the very first domestic assaults I ever prosecuted, we had the defense attorney, the elevator was out, and the defense attorney had to come up and was winded so bad into the 3rd floor that I thought I was going to have to call the EMT, literally. I was gravely concerned. As a matter of fact, I told the court attendant, so be aware of it.
Or they're not, sorry. Just watching what I eat. Now, there are times, like last night, I did have 2 pieces of prime rib.
Oh, how could you not, though? I mean,
right.
That's just living.
But no, it really was.
Oh, yeah.
You know, great learning.
What are you avoiding?
Yeah, and just
Right, I got better things to do, right.
But, you know, it's really structuring around moderation, because my wife is confused. She's like, you drink Mountain Dew. How? You know, you drink regular Mountain Dew. And you have, I've seen you eat a whole roll of Oreos, you know, since March. There's no way, I'm like, I don't eat a whole roll of Oreos every day anymore.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what I
Whole row of Oreos.
2 just skipping days.
Yes.
Well,
Check the salad plate, it's like that, not the drink. Make it
well, you can
There's not as many beds anymore. You know?
I think
He got lucky with that class.
sociological and
He had one class where
they allow girls and horse.
So
going on what I do is just stay. I do.
So he's already blown on my couch.
By the way, I did keep that
What's the Chinese
resolution.
would say?
I don't know if I responded, but that was.
I love this one. He works at Friday. Oh my God.
Oh, cool.
He gets some. That was the best.
Good.
That's a big sinkhole. I wrote that when Bert was farming. You can bury cars in it.
I'll grow up floundering. Exactly, I got lucky. Right.
that's what this school is, it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
No, that's right.
That's right.
Well, they call it a second act sometimes, right?
Yes, yes. I think you could probably call it a road.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock. The next item of business before us is the third reading of 2507, an ordinance for rezoning A1 to A2 for Mark and Wendy Hallbach. We've heard a whole lot of positions. We know that being an elected official is not a simple and sometimes less than rewarding task. Sometimes facing the reality and the truth with citizens is challenging. I've been doing this for, not this, but jobs for 47 years in county government, 46 years, I'm sorry, 47 next year. These aren't always easy. I plan to still vote in favor of this because I believe in my heart that it's the right thing to do. I don't know how my colleagues feel about it, but that is my position. So, Bob, anything you wish to say before we have a motion?
Yeah, I mean, out there in that area, there's a lot of residential, and I believe this could potentially be a good fit. I do hear the concerns, and so Lindsay, I mean, the next steps, once again, you know, your department will focus in on making sure that, you know, mitigating any runoff. And then I want you to, after I say these, then you can kind of respond back how you guys will be doing that. Mitigate runoff, looking at the, you know, water, making sure that any sinkholes are addressed, especially with the septic system. So what are your next steps in planning and zoning to make sure that things are done the right way if this proceeds?
So the next step would be the major subdivision process. So the Hallbacks would present us with a preliminary plat for the subdivision. That's when we start the review for the stormwater. They'll also be subject to the DNR SWIP permit regulations for stormwater runoff. So that will all start in the major subdivision process. There's a preliminary plat and then a final plat.
So for drainage, what does the state require? How much water can go? Can any more additional water go off on this property, or what's some of the rules and regulations?
So that's the state regulations. We don't enforce that. For runoff, it becomes a civil issue if it becomes a nuisance to adjacent property owners.
Okay.
Is there a square footage, square thing that determines?
I believe once you disturb
need?
over an acre, you are subject to SWIP permit through the DNR.
My full question was, though, is at what point is a retention or a detention? I'm never sure what they're called. Are they retention or detention?
That's where it gets confusing in rural areas, like the city of Denver just updated their code for city limits for stormwater runoff. Most cities have an ordinance. In rural areas, we don't have an official ordinance, but they are still subject to DNR regulations.
So DNR would dictate that?
Yes.
Corey, anything to say, or you want to?
Yeah, I mean, through the whole thing, there's a lot of great questions been raised. I feel like I've done due diligence in tracking down answers to those questions.
Can you speak up so
Sorry.
people can hear you?
Landon, you did a 50-year forecast for us on Shelby Ridge, kind of show our cost-benefit ratio. That was one of the questions raised. It does show positive, I mean, just on the county portion, and when you look at the holistic benefits countywide from the service industry, the schools, restaurants, groceries, everything that comes with more families, more residential build out. I think that more than outweighs the costs of maintaining a development that fall on the county from a road maintenance upkeep. The other thing, there was that one study that one of the neighbors pointed out about land use, and a 2010 study, and it showed 15,000 acres annually coming out of ag statewide going into rural residential. And when you break that down, this was a response I gave one of the landowners that had emailed us, and I said, you break that down on a per county, that's 150 acres. If you break it down per capita, that's 120 acres in Bremer County annually. We're not even close to that from a development standpoint. So I think what it comes down to when we this back and forth with discussion of protect ag land is the interpretation of protect. And yes, we always have to have respect to preserve land, but we have to embrace some growth. I had a real good conversation with some of our state level leadership this weekend, and talking about embracing growth as a necessity to maintain the county services. And unless you're a Lynn County, a Polk County, a Scott County, there's not a lot of growth to be had in the rural areas of Iowa. And with current tax structure and tax structure that's coming, embracing that growth is going to be paramount to survival for our services that we provide the citizens. And so for those reasons, that's why I'll be a yes vote today.
Is there a motion?
I'd move to approve third reading.
Second.
Moved by Corey, second by Bob to approve the third and final reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Okay, the next one up is a minor plat for Felski's.
This is estate planning. We're parceling off the farmstead and we're combining the remainder of that 40, 2 other 40s, and then a small, less than 10 acre split for about 125 acres. The north 240, the ground's not that great. I'm assuming it'll still stay in production.
Disappointed.
It does.
Anyway, it's for estate planning purposes. Cut and dry.
No issues?
No issues, no.
Okay. I'd move approval.
Second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey to approve the request by the Felskis for the minor plat. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Do you have anything else to bring before us today, Lindsay?
Not at this time. I will probably have a few, after today's results, have a few rezones coming down the pipeline, so.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for coming. You might have to get back on.
No. No. I
Do I just have the one to sign for 25? She's gone.
Ordinance, yes.
Just the ordinance?
We spent an awful lot of time studying Bremer County when we did the ordinance at that time, and where it would be good for people that really want surface roads for most people that don't want to be on gravel. And they needed somebody to own facility and that.
Anybody have to go out this weekend for drift cleanup?
And
Do you?
it was animals. They're willing to do that. Said that land is not good anymore. And that's your perspective too.
Yeah, and it's next door, it's next door. But I just want to say thank you for coming in. Taking the trip away.
Well, I've been reading each
Got
one.
recess till 10:15 or make land and wait?
Because I remember.
Take them a little early. I do, yeah. I'm just making sure I'm
I wasn't
sending you
there then, but I am
just the
now.
right stuff and not everything that's.
I saw if I get extras.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Those plans that you have all laid out and then they don't have to it's really upsetting. I appreciate that you all looked at what you did.
Didn't want to leave that behind.
No.
We all have Christmas shopping to do, Kathy, come on.
That's not an easy job you're doing. Probably.
That's Mike's. He's right over there.
Oh,
Don't take it.
Oh, okay. Mike, you don't miss this.
Yeah, I know, I left it there.
Okay. I'll say thank you for saying yes on that.
I'm on my way off to get it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was the right thing to do.
It was like.
It was the right thing. Should have been done 5 years
It should
ago.
have been done
10 years ago.
40 years ago, or whenever it was you bought it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry you couldn't get to, I think that was the point you made, but you couldn't get to the, but
That's okay.
2 minutes is 2
I wanted
minutes.
to say that, you know, we looked at that pretty carefully and said, this is land we can give up for people to live on.
Okay.
It was perfect
Thanks
building and
for
then
working on
it
it.
became not
Thank you.
because of politics.
Well,
But-
I suggested that those, I asked her how deep those wells are. She said they're not that deep.
Right.
We have 180-some foot well east of Tupelo. I said, maybe you should go deeper. The water isn't any
What's the one
good,
at
then
the
go
county
down
shop, that Buck Creek, 600 feet?
670, something like that.
At Buck Creek?
At Buck Creek, yeah.
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 I mean, if you go deep enough, you got good water.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
I could tell them these things if they'd listen, but they wouldn't.
They're out in the hallway. So
Now, you might want to take the first door.
They're still there, maybe I'll wait a while.
Landon, you're up.
I don't have a whole lot today. The only thing I had of note is now that we're looking at scheduling budgets, I wondered if we also wanted to schedule our 5-year plan work session. I think we normally do that late January, early February, something like that. If we wanted to do it,
I definitely would like to schedule that.
if we want to do it after budgets are over, it's fine. I don't have to have it to the DOT until April, so we've got some time.
I just want to give you enough time, like what you presented here a couple weeks ago about the savings on projects that we had, like
Yep.
kind of reallocating, tightening that number down
Yep.
so that you know where you're at. And
Yep.
we can bite off as much as possible this year.
Right.
I'm all for having a really good plan and a solid plan and one that makes sense. And, you know, sure, they can change by maybe a year, one way
Right.
or the other. You know, we've moved projects up, we've moved
Yep.
projects back, but I think we do so because of having a fairly good plan. I
Yep.
think there are places out there that have no plan
Yeah.
at all. So. Anything else for us then?
I have nothing else this morning. Obviously, we've had some guys out dealing with snow. Looks like that might disappear on us here over the next couple days, so get a little break from that. But no, I don't really have a whole lot of updates right now.
What was the thing your employee wanted to put into contract negotiations up at,
I wanted his years of service.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he wants to consolidate them.
Yeah, Daryl had, well, because Daryl had, what, I think 8, and then he left for those short time to Sumner. and
Tell
came
him
back.
if he just wants to hang the 2 certificates side by
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
that'd be
With a
perfect.
plus sign between
That's
them.
what, yeah. I asked him if he wanted to come. He said, I already have one of those 5 years in my folder. I'll wait till the next one.
Well, it is, and we talked about this earlier, I mean, it's nice that we have some longevity out there.
Yeah.
And I do know some people can move around and
Mhm.
and do some different jobs, so it's.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, the only thing left on our agenda that I have is discuss budget schedule. I don't know that there's, we asked this just to be placed as a placeholder. If we have anything, is there anything anyone wishes to discuss as budget, or do you want to wait till we have our, which seems to make sense, our meeting at planning session?
When do we want to do our board budget, which slot? I mean, we can throw it in anywhere, but Cassandra put that schedule out. Do we just want to schedule our,
I'll let that be up to the incoming chair, because that'll be action taken probably in the first part of January. So Bob, whatever you want to have that thrown in, that'll be fine. I don't have hard feelings the way our
Ours is
budget's
pretty simple.
pretty simple. So
And like I said before, EMA is going to come in next week and they will have a quasi-budget request, may have a budget request, so that's.
Okay.
EMS, Advisory Council. Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
You said EMA.
EMA.
I was
I'm
confused.
sorry.
You meant EMS.
Yeah. Too many EMMs. I would move that we adjourn, and then I know we're going to come back at 1 o'clock as a work session, but really just listening to folks in a different location, so.
Second.
Moved by Bob, second by Corey to adjourn. I'm sorry, Adam, did you have something, or?
No, I do not. I have an afterwards comment to just one of you. It's fine.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries.